Happy New Year and welcome to the talk. Coming up today, meet Tyler L. Boyd. Tyler has written a new book called The Biggs Machine, Old-Time Politics in Polk County. For the first half of the 20th century in Polk County, Tennessee, Sheriff Birch Biggs reigned supreme. From 1904 to 1948, the political machine of Biggs was built upon three pillars: election fraud, police brutality, and graft. And while it is true that Biggs was not the first or last American sheriff to permit fee grabbing, take kickbacks, or stuff the ballot box, the duration and brutality of his tenure makes him exceptional. When we come back from break, Tyler will tell us more. Then later, Karli Land and Mandy L. Cantrell are back. They'll fill us in on the Cartersville Area Writers Group's anthology that just came out. It's called The Crow Speaks. It looks great, and it's full of short stories written by area writers, including myself. Karli will share information on her all-new online writers group. Plus, Mandy and Karli have teamed up to start a new podcast. It's called Curious Conversations, and they're here to share all about it. The conversations begin in a few minutes, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the talk. I'm here with Tyler L. Boyd. Welcome, Tyler.
Great to be here.
Well, Tyler, I came across your name when I saw that you were doing an event at Murray County regarding your new book, The Biggs Machine.
Well, I was at the Murray County Public Library a few weeks ago talking about this because it has a lot of great North Georgia connections. Have you ever heard of the Battle of Athens, Tennessee?
Absolutely.
Well, this is, if you were to look at it a certain way, this is technically a sequel to the Battle of Athens, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, because there was a political machine in McMinn County that ruled for 10 years, overthrown in 1946, and they were aligned with the Birch Biggs machine in neighboring Polk County. And the Battle of Athens inspired a lot of veterans in Polk County, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, people who hadn't previously even been involved in politics, to overthrow their political machine in Polk County, led by Birch Biggs.
Wow, and that's the guy on the front of the book here, right?
Yes, the old sheriff, they called him. So.
Oh, he looks like he had a lot of character.
Yeah, he was pretty rough. So
what kind of stuff did this Biggs guy do?
Well, election fraud first and foremost. If you look at a lot of the election results in Polk County in his time in the 1930s and early 40s compared to surrounding counties and even surrounding states, it was a glaring anomaly, just ridiculously high margins that no one would believe. Graft, he found a lot of ways to make a lot of money for himself. Mm-hmm. Sheriffs back then had a legally capped salary, and of course he had a farm, but it's the Great Depression. Farmers aren't exactly making a lot of money at that time.
Right.
But he had a lot of tricks on how to steal from the public and enrich himself. But maybe the worst of all was a lot of the police brutality. There were multiple people murdered by his deputies who tried to stand up to him, including a gentleman from Murray County, who lived in Old Fort at the time. He was born and raised in Murray County. Mm-hmm. He stood up to Biggs in a civil lawsuit, and then he was actually killed by one of Biggs' deputies, and unfortunately, the deputy was acquitted in criminal court.
Wow, so it was total corruption.
Yes.
Over there in Polk County. So where are you from?
I'm from McMinn County.
Okay, how close is that to Polk?
Not far. It's our neighbor to the southeast. I can get to Benton from my house in about, 40 minutes. So, mm-hmm. Yeah.
So did you grow up hearing about Biggs, or how did he come on your radar?
Well, I grew up hearing about the Battle of Athens, of course. And when there was a new book that came out about 3 or 4 years ago called The Fighting Bunch by Krista Rose.
Okay.
New York Times best-selling author. It's a great book. And I helped him in his research a little bit. He was very friendly, and he recommended I do something on Birch Biggs. And I ran across that name whenever he did his book and his research, and I thought it was interesting, but he's like, oh, there's a lot to that. You should look into it. I started digging around, and I found some graduate thesis and some criminal court transcripts and some newspaper clippings and some old magazines like, Inside Detective and Life and Newsweek from back in the day and Collier's, those long since defunct magazines. I thought, there is something here. Mm-hmm. And it was just a whole era in Polk County and Southeast Tennessee history that had not been told before. And I wanted to tell this story to give the victims their say in this, because, of course, the family of Biggs, it's not their fault what he did, but also the descendants of the victims need to have their story told as well. Mm-hmm. And it's a good lesson, really, in how much power can corrupt someone. Because you'll see, if you see in the prologue of this book, he started out as a good lawman. He had a lot of great instincts. He was brave. He had integrity. But then when he got the power, he just would not let it go.
Money and power.
Yes.
Yeah.
Things just got worse and worse until 1948, the climax of the book. Remember, this is 2 years after the Battle of Athens. Mm-hmm. the National Guard was sent in because Election Day had 3 murders. 2 in Turtletown, 1 in Ducktown. There was a photographer trying to take pictures of the vote counting in Benton, and he was thrown in jail.
Wow.
So the governor got a lot of flack for not sending in the National Guard during the Battle of Athens. So this time he just made sure to send the National Guard to Polk County, and they restored order, and they had a vote count. The National Guardsmen actually had guns in the courthouse guarding every single person who was doing the vote count to make sure nothing happened. And Biggs was finally voted out.
Wow. So would you say he's a little bit like Polk County's version of Al Capone?
In some ways, yeah. Of course, Al Capone, yeah, certainly had the law in his pocket, but in this case, Biggs was the law. And of course, the moonshiners paid him off. That's no way he got rich, and he let them do whatever they wanted. Unless, of course, you weren't paying him off, then he'd bust up your still,
Yeah.
I mean, he was a very intelligent man. He was good at people, too. I mean, really, there's a lot of stories I heard from people who knew him, people in their 80s and 90s. They said he was affable, friendly, he was warm, genial, and that's part of why he's able to stay in power so long. Of course, the fraud helped, but there were people who were like, how could that man be like that? He's so nice, he goes to church, he donates to charity, and he did. But some of these men back in those days, they lived 2 different lives, one for the public.
These days do, and women.
Yeah. Yeah, they live one life behind closed doors, another life in the public. So he was like that too. So he's a real interesting character, and he changed, unfortunately, not for the better. But
I have a lot of questions, but I'm not going to ask you because I don't want to spoil this book for myself or for our viewers, who I hope will get a copy of The Biggs Machine, because I've already glanced through it. I've already read a little bit on the internet. And I love that you have photographs in here. That makes it, I always love to have photographs in my material.
I have photographs of all the different settings of the book, of Benton, Copper Hill, Ducktown, and of course, the victims of the Biggs Machine and the police brutality. And, it really helps enhance your storytelling if you have great photographs.
Absolutely. So, Tyler, is this your first book?
My third, actually.
Your third? What's your other 2 called?
My first one, Tennessee Statesman Harry T. Byrne, that's about a relative of mine. I don't know if you know, but Tennessee was the last state required to make the 19th Amendment part of the federal Constitution.
No way.
For votes for women.
Right.
And my great-granduncle, Harry T. Byrne, he was in the Tennessee legislature, and he cast the deciding vote that broke a tie to make that amendment national law. And that was in 1920. And when I was actually researching his career, because he went on to have a long career in Tennessee politics, in the Tennessee Senate, he was in the Tennessee Senate in the aftermath of the Biggs Machine's downfall. So I kind of had an idea what it was then, but it wasn't until the Fighting Bunch came out I wanted to do a book on it. And my second book is actually about a trailblazing female journalist from Chattanooga named Nellie Kenyon.
Wow. Okay, now I must read that one.
Well, Nellie, think Barbara Walters, Walter Cronkite, Woodard Bernstein, put them in a blender, and take it back before there was television. That was Nellie Kenyon.
I think I'm going to love her.
Very honest, down the middle, objective, hardworking, brilliant journalist. And she worked for Chattanooga News for a while. Then she went to the Tennessean, and she covered a lot of great stories, including Al Capone. Interviewed him.
Sweet.
Interviewed John T. Scopes, covering the Scopes trial, the only woman in the courtroom during the Scopes trial. And to show you how things changed some, but not a lot, by the time Jimmy Hoffa was tried in Tennessee, which I didn't know until I did this book.
I did not know it was in Tennessee either.
She was tried in Tennessee in the 1960s. She's still the only woman covering the trial. And she met multiple U.S. presidents. She met Warren Harding. She met FDR, off the record, though. She met John F. Kennedy. And did a lot of other amazing stories, including the poll tax in Tennessee and the fight to get that repealed, which Mr. Biggs was not a fan of removing the poll tax. Poll tax meant you can control votes. He didn't like that. But yeah, that was my second book. And then after that, I wanted to do something kind of dark, and this is pretty dark. So, yeah.
Well, I cannot wait to read it. And I'm definitely down to find out more about your second book, too, as well as your first. Where can we get these books?
Well, you can go to my website, TylerLBoydBooks.com. I can sell all 3 signed. And you can actually get this one also from my publisher at AcclaimPress.com, ACCLAIM. And if you do want to get one from Amazon, I ask you to please do a review. I would appreciate that very much.
Well, thank you, Tyler. Thank you so much for sharing this information. And you guys know where to get the books now. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Talk. I'm here with Mandy Cantrell and Karli Land. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, thanks for having us on today.
It's always fun when Karli and Mandy come on, 2 of my favorite people. And you guys always have a lot going on.
Yeah, we do.
So where do we even start? How about we start with this beautiful book, The Crow Speaks?
Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
So tell about it.
So that is from the Cartersville Area Writers Group that I'm the president there, and we meet monthly. But we also we do a lot of things. We have a conference in the spring, and we have an anthology. So we have 19 authors in that one. And there are several different types of stories in there. So I was really glad that we had a good mix. And I was pleased with how the cover came out. I mean, it just couldn't have been better, in my opinion. And this sort of, I do a little forward in there for Karli because she's not just my friend, but she's been a huge influence. And, she had the Calhoun Area Writers Group initially, and this sort of stemmed from that. And so I have to give my,
Very sweet.
I love Karli, and I love you. But, Karli and I met away from the writers thing, and it was kind of cool how it come back around that we got to be better friends through that. And I think that's how I met you, Mandy, through Karli.
It feels like it's been a bit, so I don't even remember exactly. It just all kind of came together. It was meant to be.
Well, I got to tell you, there are a lot of wonderful writers in our community, and that's not just Dalton, but Calhoun, Cartersville, and Adairsville, and on out. And I'm really pleased with the way this looks. I have a story in it.
Yeah.
My partner Steve has a story in it. You ladies have a story in it. And then there are some other people who have been on this show before. I just barely looked down here, but...
there's a lot of names. Yeah.
Yeah, lots. Probably I know maybe half of them because these are some really good authors that I keep up with. So how can people get a copy of The Crow Speaks?
Yeah, so you can go on to Cartersville Area Writers Group.com, and you can just order from there. And I have to say, one of the things I really like about this is, even if you're not a reader, these are short stories. These are, some of them are super short. And I'll just sit down on the couch and just go through, one or two at lunch. And so I think anthologies speak to a larger group in that way. And you don't have to be committed to, a heavy novel or something like that, even though I want you to be for other things.
Yeah.
But I really love that. And some of them are just a couple pages. There's some poetry. There's just a mix in there. But go on and get your copy because you can go through there or you can go through Amazon, directly through Amazon.
Well, fantastic. Yep. I'm looking forward to literally when I get home tonight, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be reading it.
Yeah.
And the Cartersville Area Writers Group, which stemmed again from Calhoun Area Writers Group. I was just telling a coworker who writes a few minutes before we came on that you really need to check this group out because it's inspirational. I've dabbled in groups here and there, but it is literally my favorite one that I've been to.
That's exciting.
So I like it, and I always encourage people to check it out. So I guess the next thing we need to talk about is Colorful Crow Writers Community. That's a new thing.
That is new. That is something that just launched this month. I'm really excited about. And it kind of came from, they're just, like you said, there are a lot of writers in this area. I feel like this area is very cultured. It's just rich with good storytellers and so I thought, gosh, there are probably a lot of areas that have those folks in them and some people can't make it out to meetings, and so we just started our writers community, and it's all online. So we'll do our meetings through Zoom. We'll have monthly meetings. We'll send out a bi-monthly newsletter. Your membership also is including our digital content, which is a lot of learning materials and stuff, and that's something we add to all the time. So just trying to pull from outside of our initial circle and see if we can join people from all over.
I love that.
I'm excited about it.
I love it. Lots of great ideas coming from the both of you all the time. I like that too.
Yeah, and don't you feel like it's like apples and oranges, really, for lack of a better description, because you're still getting the fruit. You're still getting the fruit in two different ways, and so one might be a better fit than the other,
or both.
I say access both. Mine is not the only group. Karli's is not the only group that I, connect with. I mean, it's good to get to pull from multiple sources.
Well, and we kind of collaborate too a little bit, so we've got some guests coming up on the Colorful Crow group that, will be speaking about some marketing things, and we've got Bobby Christmas coming, and so, Mandy and I are in talks about, who she has coming to her group and what their topics are, and making sure that we offer kind of a variety. So if you're in this area, yeah, absolutely. If you can do both, you're going to get, double.
It's worth it.
Well, I'm going to do both. I'm already a member of the one, but
Awesome.
your new one, I'm about to click on and or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Perfect.
She's going to be there.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. And, we're always learning as writers. When I was a younger writer, because, a lot of times it kind of comes natural and all that, I used to think, I don't need, I already know, don't tell me, I already know. But now as I matured, I was like, I need this.
Please tell me.
I'm learning. Tell me more. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. As an adult writer, there's a lot of value that comes from these kind of things.
I know what you mean, though. Like, I remember kind of like wanting to do, and I think it almost stems from you're scared somebody's going to take something away from you.
Because it's so personal.
Yes, it's so
That's
personal.
true.
But a good writers community really just builds you. It just builds you up. So.
Agreed. So I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. One of my resolutions is getting more involved in writing more this year.
Perfect.
Yes.
And another thing that you ladies you have teamed up to do a podcast called Curious Conversations, and I want to know all about it.
Yeah.
It's totally your thing. It's your kind of
Yeah.
thing. It is.
Yeah.
So, this is right up our alley. Really, honestly, it's been so much fun, and we're still. We've released one. We did an intro episode, but prepping for other episodes has been just. I find myself putting other things aside because I'm so into it. I just want to do it.
It is.
And we're looking at so many different things to offer. We wanted to make sure we had a variety. But the name is Curious Conversations, and that's what we wanted to do was have conversations about things that people find curious.
Yeah, because everybody loves that, right?
Yeah, I know.
That's
I
what
do.
we talk about a lot.
Yeah, we do. We do at lunches and stuff. It's like, it could go on for hours because we have a lot of similar interests. And I know, I will say this, my show, The Talk with Connie, I'm entering my 6th year or 6th season with it.
Beautiful.
And if you go on, and I don't have all of them uploaded onto YouTube, but I have a lot of them uploaded. And if I go to my most popular ones, I would say at least the top 9 are true crime or something, just the Andy Turner story that we did, because you published his book.
Yep.
That's a big story. Don Schiller and the missing young lady, Keeslyn Roberts. That's my top at least 9
Absolutely.
out of all the years that people are interested in. So.
Yeah,
They want to engage. They want a part of the story. They want to feel like they're a part of something.
And you just want, and you have hope that, like in Keeslyn's case, that there will be resolution and she will be found and her family will get answers. And I find myself, because I've been following this from the beginning, as you know, trying to find out if there's something new and what can we possibly do? Is there anything we can do to make this better, to make answers come? So that's part of what you're doing too. You're hitting on topics that tickle the brain.
Yes.
Right?
I like that. That's it.
Yeah. So we, we sat down and thought through what do we really want this to look like, and there were so many different options. I think that we talked through, and our name has changed.
Right.
We wanted to be How Bizarre, because how cool is that?
I remember.
But we also wanted to make sure that we were honoring the people that we were talking to and the stories that we were telling. And it's not always appropriate to call a story bizarre. Sometimes, it's just something that you're just curious about. And, and I think to keep it light and fun, we have some episodes that are more, just we talk
quirky
about quirky, crazy products that you can purchase. We're doing one that I'm really excited about. It was Mandy's idea. We're doing some roadside attractions, just fun,
that's fun.
fun things. But we do also, we interview folks and we get kind of down into the nitty gritty of some things like the true crime stories and things that have happened, but also just things that people go through in life that they want to talk about and people want to hear about, and I feel like there's a connection point there that as humans, we want to make that connection with someone else, and we're just kind of providing a platform for that.
Well, I think it's totally cool, and I have the honor of being your guest soon. So we're going to be recording after this for your podcast. Can't wait to talk about the topics that you have selected. But can you tell everyone how to watch the podcast? Not watch, but listen to the podcast.
Absolutely. So we're on Podbean. But you can listen anywhere that, you find your favorite podcasts. And then, we want you to follow us on Facebook. We do post some exclusive content and some little teaser videos and stuff. So we're on Facebook also, and you can just look us up there by looking up Curious Conversations.
Well, I certainly will, and I hope you guys do too. We could talk forever, but I think we're already over time, which is good. We had curious conversations, and it was a lot of fun. So, you guys, I'll be right back. Shout out to today's guest, author Tyler L. Boyd, and podcasters Mandy L. Cantrell and Karli Land. You can get your copy of Tyler's book, The Biggs Machine, Old-Time Politics in Polk County, where books are sold, and grab a copy of The Crow's Feeks through CartersvilleAreaWritersGroup.com. Watch past episodes of The Talk with Connie on the Talk with Connie YouTube channel. And while you're there, please subscribe and comment. I love hearing from you guys and what you have to say. And I hope 2024 is your best year yet, and that it's full of peace, love, and greatness. See you again soon.